Hi, this is David Guest and I wanted to welcome you and congratulate you. We're about to go on a journey together and we're going to discover the 10 impact points of building your business. Now these points we're going to talk about today are the key things that I've deciphered over the years that are the most critical aspects of building any business. First thing, just a bit about myself. I've been in this game now for about 11 years and I've been coaching businesses and helping them grow and understanding all the ins and outs of what makes people successful. And I've taken all of that information and I've put it into this series of videos so that we can help you understand exactly where you're getting blocked and the things that you need to focus on. I suppose from my background, I've been working with a coaching organisation, Action Coach, which has been around for about 18 years. And in my past 11 years with them, I've picked up a few awards along the way, but the ones that are most important to me are the ones where we get the best client results. Because what that tells me is that what we use works. The other thing you'll notice is I'm helping with the new coaches coming into the system now. I'm part of the training team. And I suppose that's really important just in helping you understand that our system's solid, it's been proven, and it's being rolled out across the world. Brad Sugars started Action Coach about 18 years ago in his back bedroom at home. With a vision, and his vision was world abundance through business re-education. Very big vision, but what he found is that there were people out there in business and they were just so busy running around they didn't have time to learn the skills of business. Now the thing with the franchise organisation is it's grown from being in his back room in Brisbane 18 years ago to 39 countries around the world now. We have 1,500 coaches around the world that are helping business owners every single day in growing their businesses, growing their profits and improving their lifestyle. As a coach, and I'm going to be coaching you over this series of videos, what I want to do is make sure that you're clear on what my purpose is. And one of the things I've found is there's three key aspects in any business that are areas that need to be focused on. The first one is profit. And one of my goals as a coach is to make sure that we increase your profit because that's the measure of success in business. So if you're interested in increasing profits, fantastic. The second thing we want to think about is time management. And one of the things with time is that it's your most valuable asset bar none. One thing I've realised in business is you can always make more money. But once you've spent your time, it's gone forever. So how you invest your time or how you use your time is one of the key aspects to success in business. Now when you've got a formula that works, the next thing you need to think about is creating an amazing team. Because you can't do it on your own. And one of the things that holds a lot of people back in business is just not finding good people, not understanding how to employ, or really just not managing the team the way that they need to. So we're going to talk about those three aspects over this series. One of the things that's important, and one of the first of the 10 impact points, is about how you perceive your business or your mindset around your business. Now, one of the things that's very important is that to learn in life and to learn in business, you have to be willing to have a bit of fun. Now, I know it sounds a bit odd, there's a lot of stress out in the world, but if you're not having fun, you're not going to do a great job. So I want you to think about how to make your business fun, because it is a creation of yours, and how you run it is totally determined by how you think about it. The second thing I want to teach you today is probably the most critical lesson of the series. And this is about the two kinds of business owners that I've met in this world, or the two kinds of people. You're either above the line or below the line in business. See, down here below the line, what we have is people who blame everyone else for what's going wrong with their business. It's not my fault, it's my employees, it's my customers, it's the government, it's my ex-wife. Whoever it is, they're blaming someone else. The second thing they're doing is they've got lots and lots of excuses. You know, I just ran out of time, I'm too busy, the industry's changing. So there's all sorts of excuses for why they're not successful. But probably the worst one of the three is denial. So if you think about what denial is, it's basically lying to the one person on the planet you probably should never lie to. And that's yourself. I want you to think about these 3 points, because if you're doing this at any point in time, you're disempowering yourself. This is what we call below the line behaviour. On the other side of the line, there's people who actually are successful. And what they do is they take ownership of their situation. They take ownership of their lives, they take ownership of their business. They're accountable for their results and they're responsible for their actions. Now all this really is a way that you look at your business or a way that you look at your life. The actual experience can be exactly the same, but how you deal with it and how you think about it can determine whether you're above or below this line. Here's the thing, when you look below the line, you see people that look a bit like this, and everybody knows someone like this. You start off with going, how's your day? And they start with, oh my God, you know, today's been one of the hardest days ever. And all they do for the next 15 minutes is bleed all over you about how difficult life is and how difficult their business is. The problem with these guys is all they're looking for is someone else to collude or to have a pity party with about how tough life is. Now, being here in business is not a good place to be, because you can spend a lot of time talking about negative and how difficult and how tough it is, but not actually do anything. The other kind of person is this person who lives up here above the line. Now, above the line is really simple. It's about making sure whatever the problem is, good, bad or indifferent, you own it. You're accountable for your results and you're willing to do something. So rather than telling people how bad it is, you're thinking about ways of rectifying the situation or fixing the problems. But if you look at the main difference between these two, down here we've got people who have lots and lots of reasons. And what's a reason really? It's just another word for excuse. So you can live a life of reasons or you can live a life of results. The choice is yours. And the most important part about this lesson is that it is a choice. You can be down here below the line and you can actually have lots and lots of problems and just live in your own sort of despair, or you can choose to take control of your situation and start moving in the right direction. So I want you to think about this. In your business, in your environment, your team members and yourself sometimes slip below the line. I want you to start observing when this happens, and I want you to think about how can you get them back above the line. Because above the line is where you grow and you start to see results in your business, while below the line you're just going to be stuck in the same spot over and over again. The next thing I want to talk about is failure. See, one of the things I've realised in life is that most people fear failure. And why do they do that? I think the main reason is that people fear being judged and they're scared of making mistakes. And if you look at where that comes from, because if you have any young kids around you, around 1 year old, and they learn to walk, the first thing they do is they take 3 steps and they fall over. But when a kid falls over, we don't look at them and say, geez, I could have told you that wasn't going to work. What we do is we look at them and we give them a fantastic encouragement. We go, that's awesome, you did a fantastic job, keep going. So we encourage failure. Then we send that kid to school, and what happens in the schooling system is we start to get measured and judged. And if you fail in school, it's bad. So then what we get taught for the next 12 years of our lives is that failure is bad. No wonder when a kid gets to year 11 or 12 and you ask them, what do you want to do with your life? They don't really know. They go, I don't know, I'm not sure. Because what they fear is that they're making mistakes, and if they make a mistake, it's considered bad. So one of the things I teach business owners is you have to reframe failure. Because failure is not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing, and the only way you're going to succeed in business is to fail. And if you want to think about it, the best way to succeed in business is to fail more often. So I like to reframe failure and say there's only one failure in life or in business, and that's the failure to participate. You see, procrastination is an avoidance strategy, right? Because people fear failing, they're not sure what decision to make, so they think about it. And what happens is nothing happens. So sometimes it's better to make a bad decision than no decision. So you can't steer a parked car. So one thing I want you to think about is if you give 100% in your business, you'll get 100% back. Next thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of people out there that think they know everything about business, they know it all. But you know, there's a famous saying, to know and not to do means not to know. So when you hear the words I know, and often you'll hear this with teenage kids, they come up to you and you say, clean your room before you go out, and they go, I know. And what are they really saying? They're saying, I'm not listening. Now, as adults, we don't say the words I know, but we think them. People watch some of these videos, they come to seminars, they talk to me and they say, we know all about marketing. We know all about profit. We know all about this stuff. I go, well, great, you must be going really well then. And they look at me and they go, well, you know, and they start with their below the line excuses. But what I found is the I know mentality just shuts you off to learning. So what you need to do is you need to take that I know out of your vocabulary. You need to become more teachable. You need to replace it with these words. I want you to start thinking of the words, isn't that interesting? Because isn't that interesting opens you up to potential of learning new things, where the words I know just shut down your learning. If you start acting in the ways that I've just explained, you're going to start getting a few of these, what we call light bulb moments, or in my terminology, blinding flashes of the obvious. Now this is where you learn something which you knew already, but you've learned it at a different depth. See, in business, you need to be looking for these distinctions all the time. Because when you're open to learning and you're willing to fail and you're staying above the line, you're going to fail. And when you fail, you've got to congratulate yourself and go, great, what did I learn? What was my blinding flash of the obvious? And when you do get one, you need to start writing these things down. Because it's too easy to just have the same thing happen over and over again. You know, I've met some people in business and they've got 20 years business experience. And they go, we've been doing this for 20 years. We've got 20 years experience. But the truth of the matter is they've got 1 year's experience 20 times over. And that's what's called a carbon copied life. And that's what happens when you don't have this sort of mindset when you're thinking of building your business. So let's talk about what a business actually is. Because this is one, and it actually confounded me when I started. And a lot of people think they're running a business, but they're not, right? Because what they're doing is just keeping really busy. So their definition of business is busyness. So what is a business? So the first thing you need to think about is it needs to be commercial. What does commercial mean? Well, it's simple. It means that you're trading. Okay, commercial means that you're actually trading. There's money going in and out. Profitable means more money comes in than goes out. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but you need to think about these things. What's an enterprise then? Well, an enterprise is something that's bigger than just you. So commercial, profitable enterprise means you're trading profitably, and you've got some team members in the business. So this is the starting point of running a business. See, at this point in time, you actually have something that generates a cash flow, and it's not totally dependent on you. But this is where most people fall over, because you can get really busy and caught up in this sort of business still. The second part of the definition is more important, and this is where we think about a business that works without you. Now, you'll notice I've said the words works without you, because you need to start thinking about, how do I replace myself in my business? What's your succession plan? What's your exit strategy? Do you have a way out of your business? Now, the response I used to get a lot of is, well, I love what I do and I actually enjoy working in my business. And that's fantastic. But you know what? The years roll on. And one day you're going to have to take a few weeks off. It might be to go to a special event. It might be an emergency and you have to get out of your business for a few weeks. Can you do that? Because if you can't, you're stuck. And what happens is most people start to get this realization that what they thought was a business was really only just a job. Self-employed, a JOB, which stands for just over broke. Because if all you have is a job and you have that for 20 years and you think it's a business, and you haven't set up for retirement and you haven't set up an exit strategy, you're going to get stuck. So what I really want you to think about it with this mindset part of the 10 impact points is whether you're running a business or a job, so what you really have. You need to stay above the line here, because a lot of people live in this state of denial. And here's the problem with being in denial. If you've got your head in the sand, which part of your anatomy is sticking up? And if it's your butt that's sticking up and it's exposed, you're in danger. So I want you to think about what it actually is that you have and what it actually is that you want. And once you get clarity on that, we can move on to the next stage of this program.